Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. Welcome to the first class of how to read the Minor Arcana in love readings. This is Brooke, and thank you for those that have signed up to this class. I hope you will enjoy this series. This is the first lesson for the first week. We're going to be talking about the Suit of Swords in the Minor Arcana. I recommend that you do have a pack of tarot cards for this lesson. So, the four suits in the tarot for Minor Arcana, or Lesser Arcana as is traditionally described, very much tie in with the element of nature, or the elements that we live under. So it's very much connecting those elements to our spirit as human beings. There's a type of energy with each suit. They're all very different. How do they work for love readings? They're the specifics, where Major Arcana very much describe major theme or major events. The Minor Arcana play their role or their part in describing the details of these events, giving us more information, and it tells the story of what's going on. I wanted to start with the Suit of Swords first because it's the most interesting, I think, when it comes to reading for love and relationships. The Suit of Swords is tied into the element of air. Air is very much tied into what we think, what we seek, what we know, the truth, cutting through to something, cutting down to beneath the surface of an issue as well. It's tied to the astrological signs, of course, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and it rules thought, it rules logic, it rules communication. It can also touch upon types of communication, manipulation, okay? That's one type. It can call in for heartbreak situations with the Swords energy. There could also be things going on mentally with anxiety or depression in the Swords energy. It can very much be about the ego, okay? And very much tying into anything that is cutting through to the surface. So I wanted to go over each card first. And this is from what I've learned, the knowledge I've learned in the last 25 years since I first picked up my first pack of tarot cards, and how I studied, what I learned through practice, etc. So of course, always use your intuition first. I always preach about that, to always trust your inner knowingness, your inner guide, your intuition first to the approach of the card itself. You're very much communicating with the card itself. So I'm using Legacy of the Divine Tarot for this deck because the imagery of the swords in this deck I very much love. And they're very, very rich with symbolism and very much kind of capture the stormy nature of the Suit of Swords. So I would recommend pulling all the swords out of your tarot cards and put them in order. So you'll begin with the Ace, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, all the way to 10, and then pull out your court cards. Of course, you'll begin with the Page first, then the Knight, following with the Queen and the King. So I wanted to go over the Ace and go from the beginning to the last. In all four suits, of course, you have 4 aces. Each ace indicates a new beginning, but each ace can also represent the season in terms of timing in doing readings. Each reader is different in terms of their interpretation of the aces. I have my own interpretation about the aces. I don't really follow it that traditional, especially with a couple of ace cards. But the ace in particular is signifying something that's new or starting up, or some new cycle may be forming as well. With the Ace of Swords, from my experience in my study, very much a new beginning, but one where the truth is being spoken. This is, to me, the truth-telling card. The truth is being spoken about a situation. The truth is coming in. There's a breakthrough of some kind. Okay, and so the ace to me very much signifies a truth-telling card. So for example, I was doing a reading with a client and I noticed that there was a block, or the truth needed to be told when this card I saw needed to be told by somebody. And the client later confirmed that, yeah, I haven't told my partner all the truth all about me, or the whole truth about a situation. So the Ace of Swords is very much about truth. Either the truth is going to be told, or the truth needs to be revealed, or it will be revealed. Now, the next card with the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, many times you'll see the symbolism of the handkerchief or the blindfold. This is very rich in symbolism in terms of denial. There's also a indecision of some kind and a stalemate nature. Very much about being locked in a decision. So the Two of Swords is very useful, especially if you're asking about another person. How do they feel about me? This would indicate, well, they're indecisive. They haven't made a decision yet. It's not concrete in their mind. There also could be elements of denial on your part of not seeing that, hey, maybe they're not as great of a person as they should be. There could also be a denial element in there as well. That's my interpretation when I see that card, especially in relationships. Of course, every reader's different, and everybody's interpretation is different, but always trust your intuition. I love the depiction of this card for the Three of Swords. I think it's beautiful, and it very much captures the essence of what's going on here. When this appears in a reading for love, you can expect heartbreak, sadness, tears, literally. This is immediate. This is not a long-term heartbreak. Let's say you're mourning someone for 6 months or more and can't get over a relationship. This is immediate. This could be within the day, within a few minutes, within the week, within a few days. It's immediate, okay? So this tells me that there's been a painful event, or there's been heartbreak of some kind. So let's say Sheila wants to know the outcome of her relationship with her boyfriend, or how are things going to go for us coming up. If this would come up in the outcome position, very much there would be some sort of fight, breakup. There could be a painful moment together emotionally, okay, with the Three of Swords energy. The Four of Swords very much tells me it's time out. It's a break. So I'm taking a break. I'm taking a needful rest. I'm backing off from something. This could be backing off from the relationship, backing away from the person. This person's really just not willing to give much energy to the relationship or to their partner. It can also be a timeout. This also could indicate you're not going to hear from the person for a while. They've kind of retreated. They're backing off a bit as well with the Four of Swords energy. The Five of Swords is a kind of a controversial card to me. When this comes up in a reading, I think, oh, here we go. It's like there's conflict. There's also a tendency for more than one person to be involved. Now, there's also a lot of ego at play in this card. You could be dealing with a really egotistic person who very much rules from the ego, okay, thinks very much about themselves. They could also be the type that always wants to win in situations as well. And there could be other people surrounding this person that are backing them up, or backing up their bad behavior, or enabling their bad behavior. And with this card as well, you have to understand your role in it. Plus your limitations or setting boundaries with this person. Let's say Sheila says, I don't know what to do about my boyfriend's or my husband's father-in-law. This would come up, I'd think, oh wow, this is going to be a tough cookie to break through to. You have to understand, okay, your limitations are to set boundaries with this person, or you may have the need to do so in this relationship, because this person's going to come across as wanting to insult or get away with put downs or get away with insults, and thinks they're being funny and charming. They may be a bit brash, blunt. Other people aren't coming to your defense, that type of energy. There's many interpretations though, but the Five of Swords is very much about the ego. Could also be very much tied into narcissistic personalities. The Six of Swords I love. The Six of Swords is really much about moving forward, and it's moving out of difficulties. Let's say you had a breakup, or perhaps you had a rough patch in your relationship. This tells me things are going to get better. You're moving on. You're moving forward together. She's surrounded by the swords in the water. There's one that she just somehow missed that must have come down after she went through. So it's very much about, for love relationships, having a chance to start over, or moving forward, or even literally moving out of a relationship, or moving beyond a bad breakup, or moving beyond a difficult period as well. So that, I think the Six of Swords, when that comes up in a love reading, I love to see this card because it's very positive. It's indicating success and getting over someone, or moving forward, or even moving forward in the relationship, of course, depending upon the other cards surrounding it. So I love that, the Six of Swords energy. That's a great card. The Seven of Swords takes an ugly turn from the Six of Swords to the Seven. The depiction and symbolism of this card in this deck is interesting. Normally you will see the man or boy or person walking this way, trying to get away with the swords on his back. However, he's coming through the window. So this also could be an indicator of sneakiness. Okay, this is shadiness. This is things going on literally at night behind the scenes. This could be things that people are actually taking or stealing from you. Okay, someone's trying to get away with something. The Seven of Swords in relationship readings. When I see this come up, and you're asking perhaps about the other person, or vice versa, or you're wanting to know more about the situation, this tells me somebody's being shady. Someone's being a little bit sneaky about something. This also could be an indicator of deception in relationships, going behind your back, okay, elusiveness. Someone's trying to get away with either having a third-party situation or not being faithful. This also could be this person, depending upon other cards, they could actually be thieving or stealing from the relationship as well. So there's many indicators when this card comes up that it's not necessarily a good sign when this card does show up, because someone's not being who they are. There's traits of being a liar, etc. So the Seven of Swords. The Eight of Swords very much is about, let's say, for example, you're doing a relationship reading and you're asking, or the client is asking, how does so-and-so feel about me? And if you're doing a particular type of spread, or if you're just doing it on your, not using a spread, or however, when I see this card comes up, especially for the client or the other person, they're feeling stuck. They're feeling trapped. They're feeling very restricted. Very much about a mental entrapment. Once again, we see the blindfold over her eyes. It's an indicator that you can get out of this situation if you choose to do so, but you're not. You're staying in it, and you're feeling more entrenched in it, more entwined in it. It's just not a good situation. So when this card comes up, you can recommend or say, gee, maybe perhaps it's not a good situation for you mentally. It's causing anxiety. It's causing depression, feeling very stuck, etc. So that's a useful card to kind of point out that maybe you're not even realizing that you're feeling that way. Now, the Nine of Swords is very much about worry, anxiety, sleepless nights, obsession, obsessing about something, ruminating, overthinking, okay? Way overthinking. Let's say you have a reading and you're getting some sort of feelings of obsession coming from someone. This would be the card. They're ruminating. They're overthinking it. They're obsessing. They're putting a lot of energy out there about this situation. They're starting to suffer mentally as well. So this card is worry, anxiety in love, in relationships. Now, the Ten of Swords energy, as the number 10, it's signifying a completion, which is an ending. The depiction here is very much about the ending of something. There also could have been traits of backstabbing, okay, in the relationship. You felt that you were betrayed. You felt backstabbed. This 10 is very much about the ending of it. It's the finality. It's the final ending. Many times this is it. When the Ten of Swords comes up, if this would come up with, say, the Death card, then you know that's a complete ending of a relationship. So when this comes up, let's say in the outcome position, of course, this would be an ending. When this comes up sooner than the outcome, I would say the ending is coming much sooner or much quicker than anticipated. This also could be telling you that someone feels betrayed or backstabbed. Now, the Page of Swords in this deck is a bit different from other traditional decks. The Page of Swords to me has always been an indicator from my studies of receiving messages through ill communication, through gossip, through spying, okay, through word of mouth that is just totally off the charts in terms of being very untrue. So there's rumors, there's the rumor mill, there's gossip going on about the situation, other people are talking, there could be potential spying coming from other people or from you to the situation. So in modern days, I would say this could be online social media stalking, checking out someone's Facebook page. This also could be literal catfishing. This could be any type of spying or gossiping or talking about someone else or getting information through another source about the person. So when this comes up, other people are talking about the relationship. Other people are interested in the relationship. You're getting information from another source, and it may not be actual truth, okay? Depending upon the other cards around it. Now, if the Ace of Swords was in the midst of this card, I would say I would trust what they're saying to you or what you're hearing. So the Page of Swords to me is very useful. It's a very useful card. The Knight of Swords is very useful as well. The Knight to me, and I like the depiction of this card because in the distance is the tornado. And you know how a tornado will build and build and build and start, and then it just wreaks havoc, and then it's gone. It's out of there. So he's a quick exit. The Knight of Swords could be a younger air sign. And when I say younger, for me, the age is like, 18, 20 to 30. Okay? Maybe 35. So the quick exit energy of the Knight is useful. You're asking, how long will this relationship last? Or, what do I need to know about so-and-so? And if this would show up, this would tell me the relationship would not last very long. It would start very, very fast and end possibly depending on what other cards are around it, or it could be a quick exit from somebody who just kind of one day you stop hearing from, okay? He comes in as very aggressive energy, very assertive. He stirs things up, and then he's out. This could be an actual conflict with someone as well in a relationship, or what I like to call the drama queen, okay, of a particular situation. Now, going forward with the Queen of Swords I love. She doesn't basically take any crap from anyone. She is typically traditionally known as the widow. She's the divorcee, but she's very blunt, very sharp-tongued. She's very wise because she's lived through hardships. She's also very capable of having clear communication with other people. Her word is law. This could be a potential female air sign, but you know, the Queen of Swords don't play, so you don't want to really mess with her. She's going to tell it like it is, okay? This could be in love readings describing yourselves or the other person or someone else involved in the relationship or question. But the Queen of Swords, I like her energy because she doesn't play. She's got her game face on, and she's also a bit guarded as well. This could come up with someone's feeling a bit guarded with you, etc. So the King of Swords comes in. Now, he's very much the master of communication. Clear cut. There's no games with him. He tells it like it is. I call him the general because he's very much diplomatic. He's fair. He's also a strategizer. Okay? This could be an actual person in love readings, you know, male air sign energy, but there also could be characteristics that describe this king that could be describing how you need to take the approach with something using his skills, or this could be an actual person. Okay? So let's say he comes up in a love reading. That would tell me that he doesn't really feel okay or express himself very well. He's very much about the mind. He may speak it to you. Okay, he may not be the most touchiest, feeliest guy, but he's very capable of expressing himself well and not playing games. I don't get game vibes from the King of Swords like I do like the King of Wands. He's very much the player, but the King of Swords isn't. He's very clear. He doesn't like to mess around with nonsense. So he's very useful when he comes through. So that's the suit of swords and how they can be applied in readings. I think that depending upon also other cards around them, and we will do that in the fourth lesson of mixing the cards together, how they can play off on each other and give you more specifics and more dynamics to your readings. Very much don't dismiss them or take them lightly. They give more information than an overall general likeness to the major arcana that can be very, of course, useful and important. The minor are kind of like the children that are assisting the major. So that is the first lesson with the Suit of Swords, how to read the minor arcana for love readings. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And if you have any questions or would like to leave a comment below, please do so. Thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you on the second week for the second class. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.